And we are live. So, today is a super happy and a super sad day, right? Because we're getting to close in on the last day of our conference, but we've had an amazing week. Today, we have Brandi Appell, who is with us, and she is a math tutor. And I've absolutely have just enjoyed being able to get to know this amazing woman. For those of you who do not know, my name is Joanne Kaminski, and I have also a reading tutoring business that I started up in 2010. And today, I not only continue to run that, but I also help other online tutors or tutors in general who are looking to expand their online tutoring business so that they too can get the clients that they want to be able to get and be able to know everything that they need to know, because sometimes we don't know the things that we don't know. And I absolutely, like I mentioned, I absolutely love Brandi, and I'm just so glad that she has decided to take some time out today to hang with us and share a little bit of her experience. So let's all say hi to Brandi.
Hello,
Hey.
guys.
We've all seen you
So,
inside of the portal. The people who've been joining us live, they've seen you there all week because you just really make. One thing that I love about you is that you are constantly just making yourself available to the community and are just a pivotal person, I believe, in that community. So thanks for everything that you do, and you respond to people real quickly, which is fantastic. If you know it, you share it, and I love it.
well, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I did not push save and publish so that this everybody can see this. So let's push publish
All
now
right.
so that people can actually see us. How does that sound?
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, it's a pretty good idea. Let's see now if it's going to come on up the right way. I'm going to just refresh here,
Sure.
see if it comes on up. Say, I always try to get things like taken care of ahead of time, and I did.
Mhm.
I just didn't push that final button. So hopefully, people now are able to get on in.
Sure.
It's not being very nice to me at the moment.
It's Friday. It's supposed to be awesome.
It's supposed to go as promised, not glitch up on me, right?
Right. Exactly. Monday, we got the glitches. By Friday, everything is all ironed out and smooth sailing into the weekend.
That's right. That's right. But let's try this again. We will refresh. We've got Tamara in here. She says, hello, everyone. Can anyone help me see the video today? Yep, that's what we're working on right now. I love it. Let's see if this now has fixed it. And yes, that should work. Perfect. So I'm just going to let them all know it is fixed now. You may refresh again. Oh man, I love it. I love it. This is what happens when you are a solopreneur, by the way, and you are your team.
You do
So
everything.
I'm going to put it here. Just hit reload one more time. We have it fixed. Oh, yes, we do.
Mm.
Awesome. Yes. So a few seconds ago, people were just putting in, oh, yeah, we are having a problem with being able to see things. And now Katie May has said it is working. So we got it.
Yay! Go, Katie. Yoo-hoo.
I'm so glad that I thought to even look at my website, and instead of just, we could have been here like the entire interview and just been like talking and chatting to each other like nobody's business. And they would have been like, hey, what's going on? And we would have had no idea. And then like the end of the interview would come and we'd be like, oops.
Well, let's do this again. You guys get the audio version.
Yeah. We are so glad that we got everything fixed and we're here and all of that great stuff. I was just mentioning this is what happens sometimes when you're a solopreneur. You're everything. You are the tech person, you are the web designer. You're the interviewer. You are the comment answerer.
That's right. That's right.
What can you do? Hey, I'll probably be expanding soon in the next year to come, and I'll be able to hire people to do that kind of stuff, right?
There you go. That's right.
Right.
That's one of your goals for the next 5 years.
That is one of my goals for the next 5 years. You got it. I want to be able to grow this community, to be able to serve so many more people than we are. And so that is going to be my goal over at least the next year, of continuing to get more support for people who are in this business, because it can be such a lonely business if you aren't connected with other people. So I definitely want to be a major player in being able to connect people. So
Awesome.
we are so glad that you are here, Brandi. And Brandi is a math tutor, and she is just an amazing woman. And I know you guys didn't get to hear me say that before. The people who are listening to the replay, you've already heard it. But I'd like to know, Brandi, what was one of the biggest successes that you had before starting your online tutoring business?
That's a good one. I think I have maybe more than one, if that's okay.
Of course.
I had, I think my girls are one of my greatest successes. I enjoy being a mom. And so I take that very seriously. When we started our family, we made the decision that I would stay at home with them. And so that put, all of my future dreams on hold, but I knew it was only temporary. And it was one of the best decisions that we had made for us and our family. And I have 2 middle schoolers. So currently they're 12 and soon to be 14. So we'll just say 14 for her sake. So I've enjoyed, being home with them. But, additionally with that, one of my next success is earning my black sash. And that's not easy to do. And anyone that has taken any form of martial arts knows that really that's actually, once you receive that, this is really the beginning of your learning. But it's a very long, hard journey. And basically you kind of tear yourself down to build yourself back up. And so that took a lot of hard blood, sweat, and tears. And so I feel like that was one of my greatest successes. And then as a family, within the last 2 years, the last year, we had become debt free. And so by, with Marilyn having, with her wanting to focus on financial education for kids, I think that's awesome. One of the things that she had mentioned was college debt, and it is soaring outrageously out of control. And so, that's near and dear to my heart as well, because I have 2 that will be in college real soon. And so, we're trying to put into practice some of those things that we have learned, and helping out with my girls. So I didn't have 1, but I guess I had 3.
That just happens when you're just super successful like you are.
Thanks.
What can you do? So all of you that are out there, don't mess with Brandi. She's got a black sash, all right? I mean, I'm just saying. She'll just knock you out, man. She'll knock you out.
Mama said knock you out.
Oh, we are
Mama gonna
really aging ourselves.
I know.
What's funny about Brandi is, like, Brandi and I have like the same age of kids. We're around the same age. And so we just have so much fun when we hang out together. And I know this goes out, shout out to Brian. Brian is significantly younger than us. And so, the other day I said something like, that gets a dope slap, right? And he's like, what is that? I'm like, I forget, you're so young.
I remember watching an interview with him. I'm like, wow, he's like maybe mid-20s, maybe 28. If I had to guess, I'm going, he's very young, but he's driven, which is awesome. He's been in engineering for 2 years, and he goes, yeah, I like it, but that's not exactly what I want to do. And so at a young age, he's decided that engineering isn't for him, but he likes the other aspects. And so I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to Brian. Woo, woo.
Go Brian. Go Brian. Go Brian.
I don't think he's here live, but he certainly is. Oh, there he is. He is here.
Yes.
Brian is in the house. Ooh, yeah. Woo.
Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
we really do just have a big party in this community, don't we, you guys? I love it.
Yes, we do. And that's what he's always saying. Welcome to the potty. The potty's in the house.
That's
So
right.
awesome.
Now, Brandi,
It
you
is.
talked about you stayed home with your kids. You were a stay-at-home mom, which I'm very jealous. I wish I could have had that. I wish I could have had that as well during when I was at that stage of the game, just because I really wanted to be a really present mom, and I was working full time and taking care of my kids. But
Yeah.
what was it like for you going into the school system again?
As a student, it was the transition was different. When I had started school back when I was like 19, 20, 21, there wasn't distance learning was far and few between. It was there, but it wasn't as common as it is today. And so
Hmm.
when I went back, I kind of knew that there was some classes online, but I wasn't really aware of how much is was online, to the point
Yeah.
where there are some classes that are strictly taught online, and that there are some that are hybrid. And I was in a program where it was a one-to-one program. So there's one, you had to bring your own device into all your classes.
Okay.
And so that was an interesting piece for me because my girls were on the cutting edge. The school that they go to is the cutting edge of technology. So they are the first school in the county to have gone to one-to-one.
Hmm.
And so so I got to kind of learn and experience what they had to undergo, being in that classroom and the temptations behind access to the internet and messaging while you're trying to pay attention to your teacher.
Wow.
So, so
Yeah.
that was it was interesting, and for me, it was the balance between being the student and being mom conflicted quite a lot, and I get to the point where school took that priority, and I said, I don't think so. My priority is my children.
Mhm.
Education, you got to go. But
Mm.
I always knew that at the heart, I was designed, destined, a path to teach, but it didn't have to be in the classroom.
Mm.
And I volunteered for a year prior to returning to school, and I loved the classroom. The kids were awesome. The content, I loved middle school math, and that's what I did. I volunteered in a sixth grade classroom for an
Mhm.
entire school year. Um, and I loved it. I taught classes to whole classes. I pulled students out and worked with them individually.
Mhm.
Go around the classroom and helping them out, you know, and it was just the those light bulb moments. I know it's cliche and you go, what in the world? But when a child or student finally understands what you've been trying to explain to them, you go, I love this. This is what it's about. And because I couldn't, my parenting priorities over, just outweigh everything. But I
Mhm.
knew that I could do it from home, but I didn't know how,
Mm.
so I started researching and researching. I'm like, you can do it. And I had been tutoring, not necessarily in this manner, but through FaceTime, through text messaging. So I had, in person. So I've had experiences in other forms of online tutoring, just not
Yeah.
online. Um, yeah, so those were my experiences as far as like how, going back into the public school system, not only as a volunteer in the classroom, but as well as being a student myself.
Yeah. And you kind of said, that kind of education was getting in the way of you being a good mom, but that
Yes.
didn't stop you from getting the education that you needed, because kind of
No.
shortly after that you found me. You had been toying with this idea of starting your own online math tutoring business, and then you ended up taking the tutorpreneur class. What motivated you to take that class?
Well, so it was literally about 2 days after I was toying with the idea of withdrawing from school. Within a matter of days, in searching, I found you, and I'd seen your videos, and it was just, I was like, I can do this. This is possible. There's someone out there that is doing it. And oh, by the way, teaching others how to do it. So I contacted you, we made an appointment, we met, and you were like, you could totally do this. I was like, well, okay. And so after discussing it with my family, because they are a major part of all of my decisions, and they support me, 100%. And they were like, absolutely, you can do this. And so I decided, yes, why, if someone can teach me how to develop an online business and they're doing it, why not? And so that's what motivated me to take the Tutorpreneur class, because in that class, you're going to show me how to develop my business that's unique to me. And while you teach reading, I teach math, but the content and the knowledge and the resources, and think, well, the resources may be different because we have two different areas of content, but the methodology that you use to process and how you think and the steps to build the business is all the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So my kids just got home from their summer break. I know I kind of mentioned this to Brandi. I didn't share this with any of you. So woo woo, Caitlin's live.
Summer break, baby.
Summer break. Woo woo. We officially start here on our summer break. Party in the house. We're getting the mom look.
Sorry.
That's
okay. It's all good. I'd get the mom look too. Be like, oh my gosh, she did not just do that to me.
Yeah, she has no idea like what live really means. That we are live in front of 6 people right now, guys. Oh yeah. But it will also be on replay to like hundreds of people. So
that's right.
Now she's like, oh, come on.
Oh, that's me. I didn't even look all that nice.
No, I don't need to. All right. So yeah, so it's so funny because one of the things that I do, I'm just going to share one of my secrets with you guys is, because just like Brandi, I have a family as well. I've got 3 kids, 2 are around the same age as Brandi's, but we have an entire like system for when they need to speak to me, and it's all done through writing on paper. So if anybody happened to notice I was like glancing away or like shaking my head, it's our system so that they don't actually like just interrupt me as I'm working with my students, because those are some systems that we have to build into place in order to run an effective business. If they're constantly vying for my attention, then life isn't going to go so well. And a lot of times, as soon as I introduce my kids, kind of like what I just did, they leave. So it's just another really great thing. So when I like introduced her, and she was just like, I'm out. So she's gone. So it's all the little tricks sometimes that we can share with each other, right?
That's right. That's right. It's actually interesting. You guys have a way to communicate while you're tutoring. I have a room where I shut my door, and my oldest daughter put a note out on the door, goes, tutoring, do not disturb tutoring. And so when that door is shut, they know that they don't come in because I am tutoring. So that was actually, it's really cool.
Nice. we all have like these little systems that we can put into place.
We do.
My other thing that I used to do when they were younger was headset on, you may not talk to me. Mm-hmm. Headset off, you're free to talk to me.
That's right. That's right.
The problem is now I usually have my headsets on, so
it's like, never talk to me. See ya.
Forget being parenting. I'm too busy.
It's called self-parent. You're good.
Exactly. You're good enough to do it yourself.
As long as you don't burn the house down, we're all good, sweets.
Hands off parenting. No. All right. So, in the Tutorpreneur class, we talk a lot about like the networking aspect side of things. What's been your experiencing with networking and the ultimate support group for online tutors for you?
Networking is awesome. That's where I've gotten my clients from, through conversations with people. And networking is not necessarily, it can be part of who you know, but it's not necessarily who you know. It's also about talking to people, having those conversations with people. It doesn't mean you have to go, hey, what do you do? I'm a tutor. You need one? It's just going in passing conversation. Now, we all, as in our society, people are judged by what they do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ask, who are you, Joanne? You go, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
And so when someone asks, what do you do? I'm a math tutor.
Mm-hmm.
I help students, build those foundational skills necessary for math success.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, what? And then, so it intrigues you, and it starts to pull on their questions. You go, well, that's interesting. So now they learn who you are rather than what you do. But it's just in those conversations that you have with people. The ultimate support group is awesome because you get to connect with people that I love the group because you got people that are coming in that are new to the system. You got people that have been there seasoned for a while. And then you got people that are starting their tutoring business. You have people that have been tutoring for a while in person. You have teachers in there. So you have this huge group of knowledge, from the classroom to private instruction to online only to in-person only. And you can really pull together as a group and say, hey, I'm having issues with this. Anybody else? And usually someone has had that problem before, or if they haven't had that issue before, they will research and figure out how to help you solve that issue.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, as a matter of fact, on Tuesday, and it wasn't even his part of it. He said it in passing, but I caught it as the Zoom and the video conferencing. And he said it had a whiteboard, and that intrigued me right there. But so his comment in passing, it sparked my interest because I am having some issues with Skype's connectivity. And I've been looking for an online whiteboard that's crisp work, that uses it. So I was like, what is that? And so now we have, an online, he's posted, awesome videos, YouTube videos that from the company. He asked you to accept the invitation of the Brian, Zoom rep. And so we've got this huge, support right there for another alternative to, video conferencing. And so that's just one example of the awesome support and the help when people come to your aid. Speed tests for upload and download. Who knew? Is someone out there in our group did,
Yes,
and
yes.
so it's just a couple of examples of the support that you get. We don't have to know it all to start today. We just have to have that passion to start.
Yeah. And it's just so cool because the group has just gotten so much bigger and better than what I ever expected it to be. Like, people are really taking ownership in the community and being able to help other people. And I don't have all the answers. And it's so great to have people, from all over the world that have all kinds of experience and that are willing to help each other out. It's just absolutely amazing. So I'm just really proud of the community and what you guys have done to just continue to maintain its integrity and be able to support each other. So yeah, where else can you go today that is so amazing? Like, when I got started, there was no group I could go to ask my questions. It was just kind of like, all right, I've got to bang my head against this wall now. Great. Got to figure this out. There were so many days where I literally, I must have had clumps of hair. No, I'm just kidding. Because I was just like, I broke WordPress. I didn't even know you could break WordPress. So it would be absolutely crazy. But now, it's just, it's amazing how everybody's just there to support, and you can ask a question. And like you said, if they don't know the answer, some people are actually willing to go out there and find the answers to be able to help you fix that problem. So, you know,
Yes.
so definitely, if you're not in the ultimate support group, you want to make sure that you get on into the ultimate support group. It's free group that anybody can join, and it helps everybody. So definitely get on in there. And not only that, I have been blessed with people referring students to me. And I enjoy being able to bless other people and give students to them as well.
Mhm.
It's really great to connect with people who don't teach in the same area, as well as people who do teach in the same area. Obviously,
Yes.
you can deepen your own learning when you connect with other people that are in the same area, and then you can open up your network more when you are connecting with other people that are not. So, like Brandi is a great example of, I don't teach math. I don't want to teach math. I especially don't want to teach middle school math or high school. So when I think about math, I'm like, all right, Brandi, middle school, high school, let's go, Brian, right? Like these are just like people that like come right at the top of my head. Why do they come to the top of my head? Because they are inside of the ultimate support group. They're constantly, offering value to other people. And I think that we can really help each other to grow each other's business by just sending referrals their way. So
Yes.
I think it's an amazing thing that we can offer people. Not to say that we should go spamming people for referrals, because that's icky.
Yes. No.
And I always I just let people know that, like, when if I see any of that happening, I will delete those responses. If people are like, I'm looking for students, give me students, I'm going to delete them. You need to be of value in order to be valued, right?
Yes, absolutely. Nothing is handed to you, and you don't
Yeah.
expect if you're not willing to reciprocate. And
Mm-hmm.
you just be personable. It's like you've
Mm-hmm.
said before. It's all about relationships, and it's not about what you can
Yeah.
get. How about let's try to focus on serving. And I think the more you serve,
Yeah.
in the end, the more you end up receiving. It's not just
Yeah.
clients, it's satisfaction that you've been able to help those that need help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, is just amazing. How many
Mhm.
students do you have right now,
I
Brandi?
have, if I count the one that has taken a summer break, it would be four. And I'm about to, I say about to, the my one of my fourth student is actually, I finished up assessing today. So at about 2 o'clock, I will sit down and go over those results with them and make a plan. And I know that she's on board. She's just an awesome parent who's involved. And I mean, earlier she was like, just actually earlier this week in one of our other assessment sessions, she was like, how do I pay you? And so I told her the breakdown. And so I said, we'll, discuss all of that at the end of his assessment when we sit down and discuss a plan of action, set
Mm-hmm.
goals for him for, that both she and I want for him to receive. And then we'll discuss it from there.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
he
And
will be
that's
my
a great
fourth
way to go
student.
about it.
Yeah.
Yay. And I'm specifically featuring people who are new in the business, just like you, because you are right there, right with you're a few steps ahead of some of those other people that are just getting started. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
featuring you guys, because sometimes we can really learn so much from the people that are just a few steps ahead of us in their business, versus
Yes.
people who have all of this experience, been doing it for years. While we can learn from them, it's always nice to have a fresh perspective as well. And um, that's what I love about adding you guys into the mix for this conference.
Well, thank you. And it is nice to learn from someone that's, a couple steps ahead of you. While you are light years ahead of me, it was nice to hear from last conference from Meg Navarro,
Mhm.
and that she was just a couple steps ahead of me.
Mhm.
And so it was nice to go, hey, you know what? It is attainable, it's reachable, and I
Yeah.
can do this. And that's what
Yeah.
happens when, you have access to people that are on a slightly different level than you are. So it's
That's right.
inspiring.
Yeah. So far, what have been some of the most effective marketing strategies that you've implemented to get your new students?
I think that one of my it would be have to be offline marketing. And I say that only because, well, half of my students came from interactions with, with our group, you, and the other half of them came from passing conversations with individuals. So that's personal conversations with people. That's what half of them came from. The other half came from networking, with you. And so as far as marketing goes, that's probably been my most successful. Now I will say that when I created my website, and that took for me a long time. But in one of those clients that you had referred to me, that you gave them my website, and the parent had looked at my website when her daughter was in gymnastics class, and then she had her daughter look at my website when they were on their way home, and they were, the daughter goes, "Mom, this is me." So it really spoke to them. And so while it's my network, my offline marketing, when your website can speak directly to your ideal client, that really shows them that it almost makes them feel very unique, and that you're speaking directly to them and that you can help them. It gives them a sense of hope. And so that's what I really liked about, having developed my website. And then it was just a compliment that my website spoke to my ideal client, because when you do that, you go through that process of really evaluating, who do I want? What is that? And you really think about it. And then when you construct, the plan and speak to them, it's affirming to know that when you put it in writing, it did speak to that individual. And I was like, wow, that was awesome. That was one of the best compliments I had received when they said that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and we talk about the ideal client with the Tutorpreneur program, and we do some different activities for you to be able to figure out who that ideal client is and how to speak to that ideal client, so that your website doesn't just look like a business card, like, "Hey, I teach blank, call me." Like, that's what a lot of tutors that start their own website, they think, and then they're sadly disappointed when people don't call them.
Yeah. Yes.
But you got to stand out. You got to look like you're something different. If you look like everybody else, then people are just going to pass you by. So if you can actually speak to someone, and a lot of people are like, okay, well, I want to tutor reading, math, science, social studies, ACT prep. I want to tutor everything. But we know what happens when people tutor everything. They're rarely very good at anything. You cannot reach that level of success if you are tutoring absolutely everything. You're not going to get the kinds of results that are going to get you paid very well. People are looking for people that are experts. Now, if you had a problem with your heart, would you think that the best place for you to go would be just to see your general practitioner?
I'm going to teeter on this one a little bit. No.
And that's why even the general practitioner will give you a suggestion of somebody who's an expert in that field, because your heart is the most important thing that you have. And they might be able to diagnose some stuff, but they're not going to be able to heal it, fix it, and do all the things that they need to do in order to move forward. And so that's why it's so important for us to really hone our skills to make us that desirable person that people want to hire because of our expertise.
Yes.
Not because of our generalism.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah. So with your business, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Book solid, and
Yeah.
a lot of people have their own definition, one yesterday in the comments is, well, my book solid is not working 30 hours a week. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
We're all in our own, at our own place, place and time in life, and we all have different priorities. And what is book solid for you is not book solid for me, and it will be 10 times book solid for someone else. And so book solid is subjective. It's what is it to you? And so for me, book solid is about 25, 30 students, because in 5 years, I will have one of my girls will be in college. My other one will be a sophomore in high school, or no, junior. She'll be a junior in high school. So to me, I'm like, those are tough years. So I don't want to spend all of my time tutoring. I still want to be that active role model for my girls. So for me, that's what that looks like.
That's awesome. Yeah, and we just had somebody who just had posted in the group here. Cindy had said that, she's been doing this for a really long time. And she says that while she hasn't learned like a lot of like practical application kind of stuff this week, she's really gotten a lot of like encouragement, support, knowing that, she's not the only one out there doing this. And it's really cool just to kind of be part of that community. So
yeah, and that's what we really love with the Ultimate Support Group. You are part of the community. And like she said, you could, how do you do it by yourself? It's, it's almost like the saying, it really takes a village to raise a child. And so for us, it really takes the many minds together to decide whether or not you're making the right decision for your business. There's more than one way, and what way is the best way for you? You go, okay, well, what's your idea? How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? And then you go, oh, well, cool. I can do it this way. You can blend methods. So it's just a really, really great community.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're working on building here is that community. And some Tamara just mentioned that she wants to be book solid, which is awesome. And like you mentioned, book solid is different for absolutely everyone. For me, it's 25, 30 hours a week. If I gave more to that to my students, I wouldn't have any time for you guys. I often hear people say, I often have people say, oh my gosh, you give so much back to our, to this community, and you're always there for us, and all of that kind of stuff. Well, it's because I limit the amount of time that I actually do tutor students. I've had to turn down students at times, but it's because you guys have always also been a huge part of my priority as well with all of this. So,
well, and we thank you. I mean, without you having pioneered this area for us, this would not exist. This group, if it weren't for your efforts and your need to, or your, maybe not need is the right, it's a
desire.
Yes, to help and to teach others how to do this wouldn't even be possible. Because like you said, when you started, there weren't any of these resources available. And here we are just years later, and it's booming, and it's because of you.
Well, it helps me stay on top of best practices. It helps me stay on top of like the best resources as well, which I absolutely love, because I always want to stay at the top of my game when it comes to my services as well. So, it just always, this community is always like making me strive to want to do better and do more. And so I appreciate that. I had a little blushing moment there.
Yay.
Well, before we end today, what are some words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the group about starting their online tutoring business?
I think that if you're passionate about it, do it. There's no better time than today. I put on the back burner starting teaching for many, many years. I don't regret any of those years. But if you're passionate about it today, start today. You have an awesome opportunity at joining the Ultimate Support Group, and they are there to help you every step of the way. Joanne's wisdom in the years that she's actually been successfully tutoring online is enough to be inspiring in and of itself. And then you have all of these other students of hers or just within the community that are starting at all different levels and have such that knowledge behind them, whether it's in the classroom, outside the classroom, their own personal experiences. You guys, there's no better time than today to start. And if you need the time to think about it, of course, pray on it, think about it. But if it's still there, there's a reason. Answer the calling.
Yep, absolutely. Answer the calling. Woohoo!
That's right.
Got it. All right, those are the words of wisdom from Brandi. And today, I'm actually giving away I'm giving away the Tutorpreneur program, absolutely
Awesome.
free to
Awesome.
one person in our community. I know.
That's amazing.
Another big giveaway. Yesterday, I gave away the Reading Interventionist program, and today I am giving away the Tutorpreneur program to one person who has been active on our discussion today. He's been active in our community. He's done so much to help grow this community in so many ways that I'm really excited to gift Brian Barnhart with the Tutorpreneur program.
Go Brian. Woohoo! Yay! Awesome. Awesome. That's so cool. Congratulations, Brian.
And now other people will be able to get it for the next 24 hours at 50% off. So, I'm going to throw it out there for 24 hours. If people are interested, you can join us. We do have a live call, a weekly support call, so that we answer your questions. We guide you through some of the big things that you deal with, your business plan, having the initial conversation with your client, that final sales conversation with the client, and then referral conversations. How do you have those conversations? And we actually take a look at your marketing and the different things that you're creating and give you feedback on that. So that's just some of the stuff that we do on the live call. And then we also just answer basic questions that people have along the way. You also have access to all of the past live calls that we've done, along with a ton of material that guides you from A to Z and how to start your online tutoring business. We start with mindset, but we go over how to organize your business. We go over how to market your business, how to create a business that people want to keep referring you over and over again. And we also talk about how to get on page 1 of Google, which is one of those most desired things that we can strive for in our business, so that people can easily find us and they don't have to search too hard. So that will be listed at 50% off only for the next 24 hours, and then it goes back up to regular price. So I want to thank you so much, Brandi, for joining us today and for everything that you've added to the community, the wisdom that you have shared, and just your passion and your desire to teach kids. So thank you so much, and everybody have a wonderful weekend, and it's the start of the summer. Let's party on.
Summer break, baby, has begun.
And bye-bye.